Alright, so here we're going to review of the Oriveti OH500. This is a 4BA 1DD IEM. Retails for around $500. And let's get into the unboxing. I did buy this used, so the box is a little bit beat up. But everything that comes with it should be included except a couple of the tips that I'll mention when we get to it. So let's open up the box here. Just shake that. It's one of these like very tightly fitted lids that you just know you can never open. There we go. Alright, we have the IEMs here. Let me get the flash on here so you get better lighting. We have a case. I think this case is alright. It's unique, I could say, at least. It's got this padded top. It's good for travel, but I wouldn't say it's good for fitting in your pocket, but it is not as bad as some that I've seen when it comes to putting in your pocket. Got the cable in here. Got a little bit of a silica gel for moisture. Can get rid of that. Got these double flange tips. I think it will come with 3. Mine came with only 1 set because I bought it used. And so, yeah. I don't use double flange set personally. But if you like those, it comes with it, which is nice, I guess. Let's get these out here. Put that here. We'll take a closer look at that in a second. Let's open this up. Here we have the tips. I'm just gonna flip the box over so I can, I think these boxes come out, so let's take that out. There we go. And we got these tips. And let's open this one up. This is the accessories. You come with an airplane adapter, a cleaning tool, and a 1/4" adapter, which is nice. You don't see too many IEMs that come with the airplane adapter, so if you want that, comes with it. Not bad. Alright, so let's talk about the cable real quick. It's a decent cable, I'd say. This is a $500 IEM. I don't know if I mentioned that. And for $500, I'd say this cable's okay. It's not bad. I mean, it's got a good weave. It's MMCX. Let me just get that closer on camera. It is MMCX. Yeah, it's a bit knotted. 1 second. There we go. It's got this bead here used for a chin slider. I mean, yeah, it's a fine cable. It doesn't really lay exactly flat. I wouldn't say it's as good as like a Penon cable or anything, but it's a decent cable. There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, I think it's good. For the price, good. Let's go into the actual IEM's build quality here. You got a full resin. According to them, it's handmade. Let me try to get a little bit of wipe down on that. And it's like this, like, kind of brown, like, caramel color, I guess. It's like half see-through. Got the Oriveti logo, the MMCX connector on there. So I think it's, how many boards is that? It's 3. It's hard to see on camera. But anyway, yeah. It's a nice looking IEM. I don't think there's anything wrong with the looks or anything. Let's talk about fit. You do get 2 sets of tips, which do affect the sound quite a lot, so I'm going to keep that here like this. The fit on these black tips it's a much more comfortable fit because these are a much softer tip. If you can see, you can squeeze this really easily. Like, it's really soft core. When the tip on the white one, it's a bit harder to squeeze the tip because this is a much solider core. And for me, when I have very small ear canals, so when I'm using this tip, it's a little bit tight in my ear. So I wish it did come with a set that was a little bit smaller than this one because I have small ear canals. But if you have larger ear canals than me, you shouldn't have an issue, which you probably do. I mean, some people got small ones. Everybody's got different ears. So let's talk about sound. Sound is the most important part of this review, obviously. So the sound is good. I enjoy the sound a lot, actually. I think these are great sounding IEM. I wouldn't say these are market breaking or anything like that. You are getting a $500 sound for $500. You're not getting a $600 sound quality for $500. You're not getting $700. You're getting about $500, $450, something around there. You're getting what you paid for. This is not crazy to me. This didn't blow my mind, but they're a very good set. And that's really good because, I mean, I couldn't find any major flaws with the sound, and I actually do like these IEMs. I think they sound great. Um, let's talk about the bass. The bass is excellent. Probably the best part about these IEMs. They have very deep, a very what do you call it? Great impact. Very solid. It's got good rumble. It's almost like having what's it called, subwoofer in the IEM. It's actually very impressive. I really like the bass on these. I think that it's a little bit too much on some tracks. You can get a little bit exaggerated, but not too often. Most of the time, it's just a good amount. It's got good definition. It's good quality bass. It's coming from that dynamic driver, and it really shows that it's a dynamic bass. And I really like the bass on these. Let's go to the mid-range. The mid-range, especially vocals, are also good, but I'd say every once in a while, I feel like the vocalist is a little bit, like kind of a little bit veiled. Not too much. It's not a big deal. It's still clear. It's still an excellent mid-range. It's still very fitting of the price, but it's not like mind-blowing. It's not as good as the bass is for the price. I think that it outperforms its price tag in the bass department, but does what it should do in the mid-range department. You're getting clear vocals. I think that it does a little bit better actually in the male vocals in the lower mid-range and the upper mid-range, but it does both well. And it's good. It's not like nothing crazy to talk about there in the mid-range. The mid-range is good. The highs are a bit rolled off. This is not for treble heads. I think that with these tips you're gonna get a lot more treble than with these ones. With this one, it was actually to the point where it was a little bit, tiny bit like uncomfortable for me in certain aspects. Not because there's too much treble like all the time. It's just sometimes the treble can peak in certain areas, in certain tracks that I didn't like on these. You are gonna get more treble though on this than on these. These ones, the treble's heavily rolled off. I think which I personally I'm a fan of rolled off treble, but if you're not gonna like it on these. You might like it on these. I don't know. Everybody's different, but I think the treble's a little bit messy though. I wouldn't like I think that the treble is its weakest aspect. If you're like really looking for an IM with the best treble, I don't think these are for you. But it's not horrendous on either tip. It's just I prefer it on these. Most of this review is going to be talking about this one, but I am going to mention what these do as well throughout the review. But I think the treble is just average, maybe a little bit below. Now, let's go on to Soundstage. Soundstage is good on these. I like the Soundstage. You're going to get around, let me pull in the Penon Globe here. You're going to get around Penon Globe Soundstage, a little bit less than the Globe Soundstage with these. And if you're wondering how much that is, let's say this is your head. I think the Globe Soundstage is like here. It's not the like widest thing in the world, but it's wide. It's good. It's good soundstage. It's not nothing. It's just not. And for these, I think the soundstage is like here. It's not an in your head experience, but it's not like blowing your mind. It's good. It's good staging. With these tips though, you're getting a lot wider stage. You're not getting something like the Tanchjim Oxygen stage, which I in my opinion is very wide. I love the Oxygen staging. The Oxygen would be like this much around your head, like, and the with these tips it would be like a little bit wider than the Globe, I guess. So like here, I think that staging on these, you don't have an issue. It's good staging. Imaging is a mixed bag depending on the track you're listening to me. But I do think separation is great. Now, that might be a weird thing to say, like, how can the separation be really, really good and then the imaging be a mixed bag? I think, when I'm listening to this is just from my testing here, is that it kind of doesn't have, like, pinpoint accuracy, but you're not getting a lot of leakage in the bass going in, leaking in the mid, and then, you're not getting that. But, when I'm listening to, there's a track I'm listening, I don't remember the name of the track, but there's like a little sound that goes in a circle, right? And I'm hearing it going in that circle, like the exact location of it, better on the Globe and on this than I am on this, but it's not like I can't make it out as its own individual sound. It's not blending in with the rest of the track. Now, so the imaging is fine, but not the best. I would say that you're gonna get probably better imaging on these two IEMs than you're gonna get on this. Now, detail. This is the number one reason why I wouldn't say this is not an IEM that hits above the price point, because the detail is not the greatest. I don't find the detail retrieval to be very good. I think the detail retrieval is probably better on the Oxygen and the same on the Globe. And the Globe is $300 and I think $340, and this is $500. So this is not like a fair fight in price range when I'm giving this fight, but it's not awful. So it's not like, oh, don't get this because the resolution's awful, terrible. No, it's still good enough that I can say these are a good IEM, but you're not getting enough resolution, in my opinion. I think that for this price, there could be better resolution than this. Now, I would still recommend the Oxygen, to be honest. Like, in most cases. I think that the Oxygen can do most of what this can do better. But I can't just not recommend anything because I like the Oxygen so much. You know? The Oxygen is my favorite IEM probably right now. I don't know. The Oxygen is really just an anomaly to me in the price bracket. So I can't just review everything and just be like, well, I like the Oxygen more though, so don't get this. Because some people might not like the Oxygen. I will say the bass on this is better than the bass on the Oxygen. Okay, but I prefer the mid-range on this. I prefer the highs on this. The highs are done more eloquently on this than on this. The mid-range is done better on this than on this. But the bass is done a lot better, I think, on these than on this. The bass is very, very deep, rumbly, impactful, great resolution, and really good, well-separated bass. I think the bass on this is something that I think even bass heads might like. It's not a very, very high quantity, so it's not like a bass head IEM necessarily, but the quality of the bass is really good. I think that this is a good upgrade from the Globe. The Globe, even though maybe the Globe has either the same or a little bit better, technicality, detail-wise, I think this has better. If you like the bass of the Globe, this will have better bass. And I feel like I prefer this over the Globe. I think that this sounds a little bit fuller in the track than the Globe. The Globe's, the vocals are a little bit thinner than on this. But the thing is that it's not worth the price increase from the Globe. So if you already have the Globe, don't get this. But if you can get this at a lower price and you can find the Globe or something, I think this is a great deal. If you can get it in a lower price, I think it's a fine average. It's like a good price at its MSRP. I bought these used, so I was like, this is good for me, obviously. But if you are looking at these at $500, okay, and you're looking at this at $340, this at $320, obviously I'm gonna recommend the Oxygen because I said I prefer this in almost every way except the bass. But if you really care about the bass, you want really high quality bass, but without losing quality in the mid range, this is good for that. You are going to lose a little bit of sparkliness in the highs, especially if you use these tips. If you use these tips, you are going to get a little. It's not going to be really well done highs to me. At least I don't think it's great detail in the highs. I think that you're going to lose detail on this, but you're going to have better bass. You're going to have a very enjoyable timbre. That's another thing I forgot. I was trying to figure out, like, what was I missing at timbre? This is great timbre too. This timbre reminds me of the Globe's timbre. This almost sounds like a Penon IEM. That's another way to think about if you're used to a lot of IEMs and you know what Penon IEMs sound like. Penon IEMs tend to have a specific timbre. This has that. It really sounds like Penon made this IEM. I don't know why. It's something about it, like the way the bass is done, really high quality bass with a smooth mid-range, like that sounds almost dynamic, like it doesn't get any BA timbre on this. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for these. They're an IEM that I can recommend at 500, but they don't have like a highest recommendation. It's not crazy. It's nothing like, oh my god, buy it now, any of that, but it's good. And I can recommend these. So thanks for looking at the review. I hope this helped out. See ya.